What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. We have a super interesting market watch to get into today, but first I must be the bearer of bad news, and I want to get into a bit of a deeper conversation around YCS Pasadena being canceled. People are going a million miles a minute. Oh, the price of physical cards are gonna go down with this and Master Duel, and then, John, what do you think of the regional season? I think all the regionals are gonna get canceled after this. Reading into the message here from Konami, I think they're going to be going with local recommendations and regulations rather than just taking out all the regionals, but who knows what the future holds. One lesson I do want to give here is during these turbulent times, I would think about travel insurance if you're booking hotels and flights. A lot of people are committed where they can't get refunds. I see people saying, I'm going to YCS Disney one way or another before this dropped, and then the message that was rumored did drop today. Kind of funny how people actually knew about this ahead of time. I was scratching like, I don't deal in rumors, but man, a lot of people are saying they're sure this is going down. And I also do want to talk about the physical cards are in danger. Master Duel is coming for the wallets as well. Look at the collector market buckle. These things aren't really connected in that fashion. The collector market was way overhyped into this crazy bubble from people coming from Magic and Pokemon and hype and hedging their investments. What's the first edition over in Yu-Gi-Oh? I hear Yu-Gi-Oh is so undervalued, and buying into things they really didn't know. And then also that whole grading trend ended up buckling real hard too when grading slowed down and had to grind to a stop, and now prices are way up and it doesn't make sense to grade a lot of your cards. Those things, they're not really connected. We're seeing buyout after buyout here and there on the market within the metagame. You're also in the winter cooling market with a ban list on the horizon, and people are still just going way surging hype into the cards, not only for physical events, but also for remote duels, which they are replacing the YCS with a remote duel YCS. So while you're at YCS Disney and riding those rides, do think about the fact that you could still be playing in a YCS, I suppose. Although I'm not much of a remote duelist myself, I much more enjoy watching remote duels than playing in them. That being said, let's get into today's market watch, starting with Kitchen Dragonmaid getting a double down buyout. What would we be here on Market Watch without the eternal rivals? This is up to $44. What are you all doing? This was at 28 after the buyout from like 22. And we also see double downs on Lorpar and other cards. I get that I actually said it would be probably one of the better times to buy Dragonmaids. And it could take one crazed gentleman who just happens to fancy dragon mommies to cause something like this. If you think about it, like, you know, $200. There they go. But what are you doing? Now, I, a man of culture, was staring over at Silent Magician last night as I was playing my fun deck. And when you play fun decks, you tend to run into other fun decks. And I want to give a lesson to you vendors where playing actually pays off a lot in the game. You should be in love with whatever you're dealing with, because I think it does bring an element of being educated into what you're doing, because the only ways I find out about cards are playing and buy lists for the most part back in the days when I'm a vendor. But Silent Magician's been way up there for a while, and I saw the $48 copy go and it's back to $55, and there goes me wanting to even think about playing my fun deck. But I was playing against Kale, a user on stream, and his Edaton deck, and I would have thought this was complete bulk. Edaton the Conqueror Star, you can see here, over the year going from a 50-cent Ultra to $1.50, and actually being an interesting card slash engine that he played with Shura that also has gone from a bulk holo to like still bulk-ish, but a little better. And then Kaiju, the Unity Star, is the kind of card I like to pull out of bulk, but since I'm not Vendor Man anymore dealing with bulk that's modern, I don't get to see cards like this and read them and discover them for myself. I do think being a vendor actually made me a better player to a degree too. This card reads, if this card is special summoned, you can pay 500 life points. Fusion summon a warrior monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as a material. During your opponent's turn, if you control a level 5 or higher warrior monster whose current attack is different from its original attack, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. So basically it's a quick summon on your opponent's turn into a fusion summon, which is pretty darn cool, specifically for warriors. And this engine goes through these different bosses that do these crazy things. But out of all of them, Edaton is the one who is really up there in price. So what do you think about finding cards like these? And are you a vendor that even bothers with bulk, or is it not worth your time? Because while it's the best percentage of being able to have money, it's also by far the worst use of your time as a vendor. But I do think knowledge like this helps when you're going through pages and you're like quarter on cards that people would be glad to get a quarter on, like maybe this. It's definitely interesting, although I always tried to pay, like, you know, lowest like 50 cents on cards I know I'm gonna get dollars on. It really just depended on what it was. Now, looking through that knowledge, I woke up this morning actually reading this card, and I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, it's a level 5. Legendary Ocean knocks that down. I was like, wait, we've had a lot of water buyouts lately. How's Hobby League 1 Legendary Ocean? So these are the kind of things that if you pay attention to, you can find. Well, they're all common. The technical highest rarity is not first at the original, but Hobby League common. There are very few Hobby League commons like Fusion Gate, but you should always look for that set number and look at it skyrocket to where the lowest listed are now 19, and 25. Just crazy prices on this, and while there's not really sales rates at that, you can maybe try listing it at $10 versus these greedy vendors and see if you can make an actual sale. So yeah, this one going up and off the market just off of old memories and wondering where something was going. Trap Jerk secret rares are going up. Let me know if you have any clue why this is happening. I know trap.decks are pretty good and prominent, especially since we got Heavenly Prison recently. Been testing a little with that myself, and I do think that this card has a lot of merit as a secret rare, but boy, is it spiking. The unlimbs are now at 20 even also, and the first edition lowest are towards $30. The rest of the versions are readily accessible, so don't fret, including holo foils. If you're like, I don't want the rare, I don't want the common, well, the super / ultra rares are pretty darn affordable also at like $5 for a playset on the freaking supers. Dogoron the Mad Kaiju has gone up here at $9. Let's actually click and see the price, but a lot of them are low on quantities. I don't think this is Dino Rufia. That's the first guess that my Discord gave, and then somebody else said common charity, and then I'm like, well, it's not the super rare that would be going for that exactly. I don't think the alter formats are hitting the market all that much except for Time Wizard format, and looking through here, $12 lowest now, just consistently been 8, so that's a bit of a spike on him. Let me know in the comment section, do you think dinos are suddenly coming back? Is it actually Dino Rufia? Let me know what you think could be causing this. Brain Control, now this is definitely for Time Wizard format. The first edition secret rares, DTs, ton of the old copies with the old text are going off the market. You can even see over time before, this was just dwindling down, but here we do see a big brain buyout. Maybe you just wanted that pun on Market Watch. And the first edition lowest are towards 15/16, pretty much double what they were out. And Yugi's World is no stranger to buyouts. A lot of the first edition secret rares especially end up getting bought out on the market here. We see it time and time again. Predaplant Ortho Scorpio is one I wanted to bring to your attention. Apparently it's been tested in Therions, and it does discard a card, which you want to do in that deck. I also know Phantom Knight players were testing with it, and their engine, it gets you 2/3s, it can hard get you the fusion so you don't have to go into Verte on your board, and you can combo more freely as long as this doesn't get hand trapped hard. And you can see that this has been going up. You also have the new, of course, Predaplant and Starving Venom support. This guy is just figuring out how to fit himself in everywhere again. So be aware that the holofoil version of him is going up in price and down in quantities, and there's not the most of the OTS common, which I would prefer the rare anyways, but you might want to get this card sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. Fortune Lady Every is going back up a little. You can see the market price around here. She never got her reprint, and first edition Baby bumping up a bit and not as common. Dual Links, maybe? I don't really know on this one. Let me know if you think there's an actual reason for her. Crossout Designator's sales rate is going kind of absurd, and you can see the graph slowly stopping its curve, and there's tons available at 35 still, which is where it's flying. It was all the way down to 32 for a little bit, and now it is just going ham on its sales rates. Like, actually absurd crazy. I know that MCole40 highly suggested this, and I myself suggested that it's about the time where the megatons have bottomed out, and you're gonna head into that January, February market where things start to spike up and run lower on quantities. The tins themselves are so available, 160, thanks to the waves. This was super in demand at the beginning. You can remember you had the chance to sell this at like, what, 280 a case early on, and now it's just so cheap, and that's because tons of people ordered a bunch of them, and they did not get to hit the iron while it was hot because the waves caused that cool off. And even talents dipping under $30 here pretty solidly. Like, it's just a really good time to get any card you want out of the megatons period. But Designator is getting hard focused right now. Let me know what you think about this. I do think it has a future place where it will be very good in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think it will be reprinted for a long time. I do think it's good to have access to this, especially at a price under what some people played for a single one on pre-sales. Do you all remember that? The crazy, stupid pre-sales. I warned you not to do that. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Like I said, I feel like we went some really interesting places in the market today, along with general lessons and conversations, and I always enjoy when we're doing that, but so much random / not random movement going on here.